Mackenzie Johnston with Cattle News Central, bringing you your August 26th cattle industry headlines. Brought to you by AgRisk Advisors. They manage your risk so you can manage your operation. They are the experts in educating, evaluating, and executing risk management programs for each individual operation while also providing top-notch customer service. Now is the time to be thinking about enrolling in the Pasture Rangeland Forage Program for the 2023 crop year. If you want to learn more about this, go ahead and reach out to Alex and Nea. He can set you up with a tracking policy so you can understand how the program works firsthand. AgRisk Advisors, risks averted, legacies preserved. Drovers has reported for the week ending August 20th, so that would have been last week. Cattle feeders saw average profits of $197 per head as the 5-area fed steer price averaged $147.77 per hundredweight. That was up $270 from the week before and up 17% compared to the same week last year. Feed costs for cattle marketed last week averaged $572 per head, down $13 from the week before. But last year at this time, feed costs were averaging $130 per head. The estimated total cost for finishing a steer last week was $2,153 per head, up 21% from last year's estimate of $1,775 per head. Also, for the week ending August 20th, this is where things get interesting, estimated beef packer margins were only $150 per head. That was down $32 from the week before and down a whopping 87% from a year ago. Last year at this time, packers were making up to $1,100 per head. Drovers has also reported on Tuesday, Whole Foods Market was sued by 3 consumers and an animal welfare nonprofit in a lawsuit accusing the company of falsely marketing beef with the slogan, "No antibiotics ever." The class action lawsuit claims recent independent laboratory testing found that Whole Foods' beef does in fact have antibiotics in it and pharmaceutical residue. Farm Forward, the animal welfare group that is involved with this lawsuit, believes meat containing antibiotics create serious health risks by contributing to antibiotic-resistant bacteria that consumers ingest, and that may cause infections that cannot be treated by antibiotics. That statement right there shows you how far out there this animal welfare group really is. And it gets even better. So the group's mission includes efforts to promote conscientious food choices, reduce farmed animal suffering, and advance sustainable agriculture. This group is out there to say the least. Whole Foods markets at least 42 beef products as antibiotic-free and charges ridiculous price premiums for these products. The plaintiffs want Whole Foods to correct how it markets its beef and pay unspecified compensatory and punitive damages to consumers who overpaid for the products. This update is also sponsored by 4T Ag Insurance, your go-to contractor for ag insurance. Colt Tritt, he is the owner and operator of 4T Ag. He is a one-man show. He himself ranches, so he understands all the risks that go along with the livestock industry. 4T Ag, they offer LRPs on both fed and feeder cattle. They offer PRF insurance and just about any other insurance option out there. If you want to learn more, head on over to www.4taginsurance.com. Meeting Place has reported the National Chicken Council, NCC, is expressing strong opposition to a USDA proposal to change the current poultry grower tournament system with the intent of making the process more transparent. God forbid we have more transparency. The proposal includes a new set of disclosure requirements to establish the rankings and subsequent payments to poultry growers. This is what we need when it comes to the tournament system with our poultry growers. According to the NCC, moving forward with this proposal would have a devastating financial impact on the U.S. chicken industry by raising costs and administrative burdens. They also claim that it would raise food prices for consumers. News 24 has reported Botswana has suspended all exports of cattle and related meat products due to a suspected outbreak of foot and mouth disease. The suspension comes a week after neighboring South Africa took a similar step to halt the spread of the disease as it runs rampant in that area. Cattle exports are a key source of foreign currency for Botswana, right after minerals and tourism. Finally, the Daily Wire and Just the News has reported on Wednesday, President Biden unveiled his plan to cancel $10,000 in student loans per borrower that makes less than $125,000 annually. We've all heard this story numerous times. So this plan, it would also forgive $20,000 per borrower who paid for college using Pell Grants. And also, when Biden made this announcement, he said that he is going to extend the pause on federal student loan repayment till the end of the year. Nixing $10,000 of debt per borrower would cost $298 billion just this year and a total of $329 billion by 2031 if this proposal was actually renewed each year. So when you factor in the student loan payment moratorium during the pandemic, Congress has already spent between $700 and $900 billion on student debt cancellation and relief since the beginning of the pandemic. Absolutely ridiculous. And we want to spend hundreds of billions of dollars more for this situation. It's not loan forgiveness. It is loan transferal. So a recently released survey from CNBC shows that 59% of Americans are actually worried that student debt cancellation will make inflation worse. And it absolutely will. That number should be much higher. That just shows you how disconnected our country is. If this plan actually goes through, and I pray it doesn't, it's going to send our historically high inflation rates that we have going on even higher. It's going to saddle taxpayers with up to $600 billion in new debt, and it is going to completely bust our federal budget. Like I know, like you know, like we all know, loans just do not go away. You cannot borrow money and then all of a sudden have it forgiven. Someone else is going to pay for that. And all Biden is doing with this move is passing the debt onto blue-collar Americans. Onto Americans who either have it together and have their student loans paid off, or Americans that decided that they didn't need to take out massive loans to go to college. They just went to work right after college and they're doing darn good. But they are still working their butts off to keep things together because inflation rates are so high. These are the folks that are going to have to pay this off. It's absolutely ridiculous. And handing out money is not the answer. It is never the answer. This administration is literally just an administration that just keeps giving, just print more money, hand it out. But the problem isn't the fact that we're handing out the money. The problem is that we're not fixing the system. The problem is we funnel all of our kids through college. There is this mentality in America. If you want to live a good life, you need to go to college. You need to take out these massive loans. It's ridiculous. And they get through college 4 years later and they walk across the stage with a piece of paper that says they got a degree in something that doesn't matter, that's not going to help them get a job. It is ridiculous that this is what we expect from our young people in America. The whole idea needs to change. We cannot just continue to just hand out money. Let's just make college free. Let's see how good that works for our country. That is all I have for you guys this morning. I hope everyone has had a good week. Hopefully some of you folks caught some rain over recent days. It just missed us, but it's cooled off a little bit, so I cannot complain. I will see you all on Monday morning. You guys have yourself a wonderful weekend.